Aloha, this is Dr. Martina, and welcome to the third in a three-part series that explores three inner strengths we all have and that serve us on the path of becoming sexually healthy. At the end of this video, you'll find a link that will bring you to part 1 and part 2 in case you missed it. In this third part, we will explore our sexual realization, the inquiry of who am I sexually? Tara Brach says we all have it, what's called a reflexive awareness. That means that we are aware of our thoughts. We know they're there, we hear them. But guess what? The truth is that we are not our thoughts. Now, when we don't have that reflexive awareness, when we're in a trance, we make ourselves small and our true sexuality remains confined. If you're currently suffering with your sexuality, then most likely you believe those limiting thoughts and ideas that you have about yourself. And you think about what people want you to do sexually, how they want you to behave, and how they want you to be sexually. We're trying to adapt. You're not living from the truth of that mindful awareness of the reality of who you are. Now, being in a trance happens to all of us. You can think back in your life and remember where you kept yourself small and where you were believing those limiting thoughts you had about your sexuality. And maybe you thought your sexuality was shameful and therefore you couldn't show yourself with your true sexual self. Or when you were in a partnership and you kept your sexual desires and fantasies to yourself, thinking they were outside of the box and would not be appreciated, probably condemned or judged. Now, when we look back in hindsight, in retrospect, we can actually know when we did that, and we know that we have expressed ourselves sexually. How we expressed ourselves sexually is not how we are sexually. This sexuality of ours is real, and we are completely and entirely unprepared to embrace it with joy, pride, and acceptance. For as long as we hang on to those stories that we have created about how the society and how our parents want us to be sexually, how we want to behave sexually, how we should behave sexually. Not only do these stories keep us in a trance, they also hinder us from connecting with our unique way of being sexually. But you know what? Getting into this trance is completely natural from an evolutionary perspective. It's natural to create stories about ourselves that limit us because we learn who we are through our parents and caretakers and through the culture that we grew up in. And it's also part, and this is the gift in this, it is also part of our evolution to recognize who we are behind that mask we all wear, and we can look back at ourselves in the mirror. This awareness is the potential we all have, and now let me tell you how you can connect with that gift, with that potential. First, we have to see and recognize that there's a part of us in us that gets all of this, that gets this untruth, that gets that the thoughts are not real that we're creating in our head. Part of us knows that the stories that we wrap our egos around are untrue. Part of us knows that when we tell ourselves we are not enough, we're too much of this and too much of that, that those thoughts are not real. They are not true. And that part lives in our hearts and is ready to be connected with. If you recognize yourself as a sexual being, then you're not afraid to express yourself sexually. The saying goes, if you know that you are the ocean, then you're not afraid of the waves. So it is vital to connect with that part of your heart because we all have that wisdom and it's there, and you just have to make sure you know it's there and you recognize it's there and that you communicate with it. Now the second step is to take a deep breath, collect all the courage that you can, and look yourself in the mirror. Look straight into your eyes. Connect, stay there as long as you can, and connect with that sexual being that you truly are, that you know you are, that you know is there. Connect with that. Look at yourself, give yourself a smile, softness in your eyes. And you know, at first, if you can only do it for like a couple seconds, that's okay. Come back at it. Repeat this as long as you want, because connecting with that person and connecting with that truth that you already know in your heart, that you are okay. Now you need to make sure you find your way to that through your eyes. And then if you want to tell yourself at the end, when you feel comfortable and good about it, you keep looking in the eyes and say, I am a sexual being and I am enough. Now the attitude, how you look at yourself and how truly you can be there for yourself, that makes a difference after you look in the mirror. John O'Donohue is a beautiful poet, and he says, what you encounter, recognize, or discover depends to a large degree on the quality of your approach. When we approach with reverence, great things decide to approach us. So this brings us to the end of this 3-part series about how to become sexually healthy, and I hope that you recognize by watching these 3 videos of the importance and how essential the 3 gifts that we all have. The gift of a forgiving heart, the gift for the fire of our inner fire for our sexual desire, and the gift of really us knowing, truly knowing we are not our thoughts, and really recognizing who we are sexually. All these gifts are essential of becoming a sexually healthy person. And I also understand that some of you could possibly have a steep path ahead of them, and I just hope you recognize that and that you reach out for help, for professionals like me. I would love to guide you through the path and through the exercises of becoming sexually healthy. And I would love to help you, help us illuminate humanity with healthy sex. You take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.